All right, let me know if the audio is working any better today. I am making changes every single day to the audio gear. And if it doesn't work out today, I'm going to go buy all new gear for next week's webinars. So it's been kind of crazy. More than half of the videos I've had have been marred by some sort of audio distortion. If it's going to happen today, if the Daleks attack, you'll hear them. They sound like aliens. I apologize in advance. I'm doing everything I can to get it fixed. But I don't know what it is. It's intermittent. I think it's all great, and then it isn't. So today's going to be a wonderful day anyway. I can tell right away because I have leftover Valentine's Day chocolates. That makes for a great day. So, two things today. We're going to jump in and get our homework done. I feel like I'm dad, like my dad. Like, before we get to the fun stuff about Ben Finegold, you're going to have to do your homework. Okay, let's do it. I'm opening our hymnals to page 254. And isn't that great, the green screen? Because can you tell what color my Post-it note is? It's green for the green screen. Ah, ha, ha, ha. So that's fun. So, where were we? Let's flip over to Chess Openings Wizard. Dun, dun, dun. Here we are. And I got to show it to you here. Oh, there we go. Great. So hopefully you can see that because it tells me you're seeing that in any case. So, at this point, if I can get it done here, in a game, White has tried in this position G3. He's got a very interesting plan. He's going to try to get his bishop out and open up the G file and force the exchange of light squared bishops so that these pawns will get weaker and the queen will be able to come out and start some sort of attack, hopefully. But this is what happens. So after G3, we go ahead and finally take the bishop. It was doomed anyway. And then after that, he plays bishop H3. Look at that. Ah, hanging bishop. We should take it, right? No, we shouldn't take it, actually. The more devious move is to play bishop e8. What do you know? So, yeah, I still want to explore that one because I've actually tried it before. Weeks ago, I played this line out, and the engines have their best with me. What can I say? So after that, let's see, bishop e8, and then king g2. So we started with, what, 40 odd positions here? If we added 5 positions, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've added 5 positions. Let's check to be sure about this ebook. And we started with 46, I think it was. We added 5, 51. We've done our homework. Now we can get to the fun stuff, all right? Remember that I'm going to go over those slides again. Remember that your homework includes making emotionally intense comments because, as we know, every position we prepare is going to be better than anything we come up with at the board. It's the reason why we're doing this. And the mission is to challenge ourselves to expand the number of positions that we know. And the next 2 slides are about how we make sure that we know them. The first is how do we make sure that we're understanding them. And that is to type in each position's comment why you chose the move you did. And sometimes it will start out as, I got it from a book. The engines said it was good. And we're going to touch on that later when we get back to Ben Finegold. So, or sometimes I play this move now because when I used to play the other move, I got my head handed to me over and over again. I figured out it was bad. You know, I kind of like the opposite of Fisher. We'll call it worst by test. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so those of you who follow Fisher understand that joke. So, back to Cal for a second. So we've got our 5 positions. And what else was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about what we're up to. The challenge, of course, is to add 5 new positions to repertoire each day for 30 days and then post on the group. I added 5. For those of you who are posting in the group every day, you added 5. Go you. I think this is like, what? We're on like day 17 of our 30-day challenge. And I'm only up to episode 10, including today for this video, so I don't go on every day. By the way, I am not going to be on for the next few days. If you didn't catch my emails, now, if you're watching the replay, I am about to board a plane tomorrow to go spend 4 days and nights with my grandkids, a couple of my grandkids anyway, in Orlando. It's going to be awesome, but I will not be broadcasting for you. So, I promised you some Ben Finegold quotes, and then we'll get to the question of the day here, which I think is really cool. So let's get back to just that. So, we're looking at that fine. Just just the camera with me. There we go, trying to switch scenes there. So back in the day, Ben Finegold played with me, along with other people, I should say, at the Dark Horse Chess Club. He was one of the stronger players there, and he kept getting stronger and stronger. We had some great players come out of that club, really great players. Ben may have been the only one to go on to become a grandmaster. But it was actually more recently, in the past year, where I watched a video of Ben Finegold, and he gave me the advice, the best advice I think I've gotten in the last year on playing chess. So what happened was this. Some beginners were asking him, going, why are you playing that move if the other move is better according to the engine? And Finegold just smirks the way he usually does, and he says, I happen to know that if I play down this line, yeah, the engines will say I'm slightly worse, but if I make a mistake in that line, the engine's going to say I'm like a bazillion worse. But if I play the line I want to, and I make a mistake, the engines will say maybe I'm negative 100, maybe 100 worse, 1 centipon worse. And he says, so I'll be a little bit worse if I make a mistake over here, but I'll still win because I'm a grandmaster. So he actually said it in a much more pithy fashion. Bonus points for you, by the way, if you can find that video of Ben Finegold telling this anecdote and send it back to me, because I'd like to see it. I'd like to quote it. But he gets total credit for that. This is what happens in my games when I play online. I will inevitably be brought to a choice point where I could play down one line and it's really dangerous. And my king is probably unsafe. But if I survive, I win brilliantly. I almost never win brilliantly because it's really hard to defend, especially when you're playing at quick time controls. And if I went down the other way, I would live to survive. It wouldn't be as brilliant, but I'm most likely going to win if I keep pressing right towards the end game, which is my strength. But I love to play dangerous positions. I was inspired a few months ago by this Leela chess, whatever it was, the Alpha Chess Zero, whatever, one of the super duper AI engines was playing, right? And it played this awesome grab of a pawn, and then it looked like it suffered for like 14 moves, like almost being mated, almost being crushed every single move. But since it's an engine, and since it was Leela or Alpha or whatever, and it knew, it could see all this and it could sniff it out, right? It got all the way to the end of that horrible defensive line, a pawn up. And then, of course, it turned it around and then started pushing back. But it lost the initiative horribly for more than a dozen moves. Any one of us humans would have cracked under that pressure by taking that pawn. So if you were Ben Finegold in that case, he would have not taken the pawn, even though the engine said it was better, because it's far more dangerous. So that's the wisdom I have for you today, is consider that. Really take some time today and consider that when you get to your choice points. Do you choose a line which is possibly safer versus one that's, fireworks and you don't know how it's going to end, but you're hoping? And if you love that kind of thing, don't let me dissuade you from playing those lines, because I still play that way too, because, it's Blitz Chess Online. What can I say? So we came up with, I came up with the question of the day, which came to me late in the day. Mark Nagy just posted this question. He says, when we're preparing opening lines for a book, is it best to enter the whole main line, kind of like we're doing in our homework right now, or to enter in the branches in the line as they occur? And my quick response on the internets was, it's up to taste, really. And it really is. So it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is, I want to be able to play shallowly, very, very shallowly, the best possible lines, no matter what they play, then you'll only prepare to move 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever that depth is, and only those branches. Or if you want to go deep, if you want to go, I just want to know the best possible line, then I will be probably puzzled whenever they vary from the best possible line all the way to move 25. But I might rest in the knowledge that if they're playing a deviation, they're probably making a slight error. But it'd be my job to figure that out, because if I didn't prepare for that at home. So I prefer to go all the way down the main line, kind of like the main line, the one that drives me right towards a win, or in the case that we're studying right now, the kind that allows me to draw against even a grandmaster playing the fast London against us. Then work backwards and go, well, what if he went slightly different here to avoid that repetition position? What if he's deviated there to avoid this repetition position? What if he deviated here to avoid the complications? And then back up until I'm all the way at the starting position of chess. So obviously, like this line right now is useless if they don't play the London, right? It's like our analysis is useless from move 1. But if they play into the most popular way of playing right now for white online for club players, we just might get some traction out of what we're preparing. So I hope that answers your questions. It really depends on what your goal is. I like to do it deep line and then break things up from the end all the way back to the beginning. Mostly because it's easier to work through the book that way with a highlighter. And if you'll know if you're trying to dig through a book like we're right now, and I've done that for years with books. People don't use books anymore, but I'm old school. What can I say? It becomes easier with your highlighter to work out of a branch you've gone deep in and work backwards rather than try to add every branch as you go through the book. Some people might argue differently because if you go forward through the book and just stop every main line and explore all the branches, you're going to highlight everything before you turn the page. So that might be easier for you. Again, up to taste. Good question, though. So that's it. I'll look for you sometime next week, hopefully with a new microphone or a new gear or something that's going to fix this problem. I'll switch computers. I don't know. I'll do something to change everything up. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in for episode 10. Do take some time to sit with Ben Finegold's advice and let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you later.